Hey, Steve Post from MRN from Wing Nation here at the Racing Electronics booth here at the PRI show. Going to talk a little sprint car racing. Love doing it. Cory Eliason joins us. Has a lot of really neat things going on. And Cory, first off, just thanks for joining us here at the PRI show. It's great to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
All right, let's look back a little bit. You got a lot to look forward to. But you look back. This past season was interesting, I would think. Multiple rides. You did have a couple of wins. How do you kind of put your arms around 2023 and maybe even getting that past you, if you will?
It was definitely a different year. It's you come from something you run full time, and then you kind of go through a few rides just to kind of fill it in. And I was fortunate that Bernie started racing with me at the beginning of the year, and we were fast there, and I was Crouch kind of made the change there, and I was able to kind of switch over to there and continue racing full time and racing try to run a full year out. And at the end of the year, it's kind of he's going to go race with his kid type thing, and it was that was the plan all along, is him to be able to race with his sons, and it's good for them. And it was one of them things that it just happened to work out with Brian and Swank. It was one of those deals where it kind of came naturally, I guess, if you'll say. It was I kind of heard about it, and I debated if I should even call or what, and we made contact, and it kind of just snowballed from there.
Yeah, it's going to be Brian Ridge, the Ridge & Sons Racing, the number 8 car, going to run the High Limits Tour. And when I guess I'm going to get a little deeper into what you were just talking about. Is it something where you put out feelers, you kind of spread the word, you let people know that you're looking? How does that work behind the scenes?
I guess there's multiple ways to do it. I kind of sit down and try to evaluate, I feel, what would be the best for Cory Eliason as myself, and try to figure out the next step forward. And I've done this for a few years now. I kind of understand the game and how it works, and it's the one thing that you can't buy in the sport's chemistry, and that's hard to come by. And if you can find that, I feel like that's where teams are made. And so I just kind of I talked to a few people and hearing about the different rides that might be available or the people that might be changing, and ultimately I thought after a day I thought the Ridge & Son racing team was probably my best bet, and I made the phone call, and it happened to work out, which is doesn't happen always. It's a 1 in 100 shot, but that's why I said this one, it's not forced, it's kind of natural, and it feels like it's meant to be.
I think the fun part about this as well is you got a little head start on it. You had a chance to race with these guys at the World Finals, and then a couple of races in Oklahoma, had a couple podium finishes. How important was that? How neat was that? How comforting was that to get a few races under your belt before next year starts?
It's definitely good, because it's more of a it's a comfort, it's a feel thing, and that's kind of what every driver needs. It's whoever's going to basically make you feel the best, like you can do the best you can. So working with Tyler and Brogan and Jordan for those 5 races that we did, it was good. We went to World Finals. It was everything was new. I was trying to just set myself up, like, let's just run it and see what it feels like. But unfortunately at World Finals we hot lap 3 laps and then 2 nights of qualifying right there after that. So it was a different feel, but we were able to make it through, and they thought they saw good things there, and everything kind of built from there. So we decided to run PRI that next weekend, and put a different car together, more of what I guess I'm used to, and things clicked quickly, and it's easy. It was definitely nice to be able to kind of just get out and, I feel good, or I feel a little this or that, and Swank just says okay.
Neat stuff. You mentioned Swank, Tyler Swank, one of the great crew chiefs and one of the biggest personalities in the pit area as well. You talk about that chemistry. I mean, you've been around, he's been around forever. Had you done anything with him in the past? Had you just known him from the pit area? And what's it like working with him?
Yeah, I never. I know him. You do this long enough. You're out on the road. You meet a lot of people, and you hang out after the races, or you're in the same industry, so you're gonna meet them and you're gonna talk to them and have fun at some stage. So I knew of him. The closest I was gonna be when I went and drove Roth in 18. He was the crew chief for Joey at the time, I believe, and I think that was kind of where they were headed. I was told it was probably going to be Swank was going to be the crew chief, and so I was like, okay, that would work out. It's kind of exciting, and things didn't work out that way. I had Troy Welty, which was good too, is another experienced guy, and we won some outlaw races, and that was good. But now it's running with Swank, hanging out. I feel like we have similar personalities. There's a lot of joking, there's a lot of messing around. There's definitely fun times, but there's also times where we know it's time to be serious, and that's the easiest thing is you can go from being happy, joking around right before a heat race to pushing back, and we're in business.
Yeah, I think that's the thing I have so much respect for Tyler about, is that he's so much fun to be with, and yet nobody works harder and is more serious about racing as well, so it's all in across the board. This is a unique situation. You're going to run the High Limits Tour. Just describe why that seems to fit well with where you guys are at.
I think they kind of looked at the schedule and kind of went through everything, and it was that schedule kind of suited them a little better. Kind of they're based out of Knoxville, Iowa, so it was just a little easier. And we have no notebook, and we know that everyone knows how grueling the Outlaws can be. 86 races, and we're always it's 86 races of points races, and it's not just 86 races a year. So I think that was kind of the gist of it. Brad and Kyle definitely put out a good schedule, and they have a good thing going. So it'll be fun. Like I said, it's fun just to be able to race. High limit Outlaws. It's going to be a good year next year for everybody involved in racing, with the money that they're putting out, and all the fans, and the streaming services. It's really something cool for dirt racing that's definitely needed to excel us and propel us into the next bracket, I guess you could say, as far as NASCAR and IndyCar. So like I said, it's high limit. I think they kind of looked at the California schedule, the West Coast thing, and thought that this is, there's more races there with the high limit, and I come from there, so they just thought that would be the best, even though I think I haven't been back to California in a while. So whenever we get to moisture and cowboy up tracks, I'm like, I'm not sure if I can do this anymore, but I guess we're going to find out.
I am sure you will, that's for sure. The other unique thing, and you talk about Brian and his program based in Knoxville, you will have a teammate, but it's a little different situation. Aaron Reitzel. Aaron is going to be the local car, if you will, going to focus on the Knoxville Trek Championship and races in the Midwest. How will that work? And it's got to be nice when we look at the Knoxville Nationals to have a team car that's been there every week. How's that going to work for you guys, for both of y'all?
Ultimately, if you look at the past years of any Outlaw champion or any All-Star champion, most of the teams that succeed have more than one car out there, because you can kind of test. One runs one car, one runs the next car, different motor packages, or just different stuff. And it's always good to have extra resources, and we definitely have that. It's Knoxville, or Aaron is definitely a upfront guy. He's fast, he can be aggressive, and it's nice to have that kind of knowledge in the same shop, and they can, if he struggles, he can ask bounce ideas, or if we struggle, we can bounce ideas off him, and it makes it it makes the road a lot easier.
Really does, truly does, that's for sure. Going to be so much fun. Cory, great to hang out with you. Congratulations on the new deal.
Yep, thank you.
There we go. That's Cory Eliason. It is the Ridge & Sons Racing, the number 8 car. He's going to run the High Limits Tour, and the High Limits program he's going to run elsewhere as well. You'll see him all across the country racing this season. Joining us here at the Racing Electronics display here at Performance Racing Industries.